Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl in your face while you're sleeping. 10 weirdest creatures in real life. Welcome to the world of the weird and the wonderful, where we get to see some of the most magnificent species in the entire universe. Indeed, Mother Nature is a strange creator. So strange that some of the animals we're going to look at today will completely shock you. Some of them are scary, others are downright intimidating. And others, well, let's just say that they look like they were torn out of a page of a science fiction novel. With that being said, let's take a look at 10 of the strangest creatures that have shocked scientists to this day. Like, why in the world do these creatures exist? Number 10. Tardigrade. Also called the water bear, this microscopic creature is the Superman of the tiny universe. By that we mean that they are indestructible. These creatures are also found everywhere. Even the cold ice caps of the Arctic can't hold these creatures back. They are also found in bodies of water, in rainforests, and mud volcanoes and deserts. It even survived being exposed to outer space itself. It can live through temperatures that approach absolute zero and temperatures that are as high as 300 degrees Fahrenheit. It can tolerate radiation and levels of pressure that would kill a human being in moments. During times of scarcity, the tardigrade can go without food and water for 30 years or more and endure being dehydrated for a decade. A tiny, fat, segmented beastie with 8 legs and clawed feet. It eats one-celled plant material and invertebrates smaller than itself. Count on the water bear to be around till the heat death of the universe. Number 9. Aye-aye. Considered one of the ugliest animals on planet Earth, this solitary little primate is also one of the most bizarre. Found only in Madagascar, it is 14 to 17 inches long with a long tail. Its body is covered in long, wiry hairs that range in color from gray to black with whitish guard hairs. Its face is fox-like, but its teeth grow continually like a rodent's. The aye-aye uses echolocation like a bat and can climb down trees head first like a squirrel. Its eyes are round and are either orange or tan. The animal also has a specialized third finger it uses to poke into cavities it's made with its teeth and pull out grubs. And they are usually hunted just for how they look. That's what makes the aye-aye dangerous. Number 8. Sponge. The sponge is one of those marine animals that looks like a plant but isn't. Indeed, the sponge can't even be said to look like a plant as much as an organism like venom that dropped out of outer space. Made up of unspecialized cells interspersed with channels and pores, this animal has no digestive system. It does not have a brain or a nervous system. It does not have a circulatory system. It has no internal organs. It is only alive because the ocean currents bring it food and oxygen and remove waste products. The sponge was the first animal to differentiate itself from the common ancestor shared by every animal, and was probably around as long as 750 million years ago. Yet, sponge life is surprisingly complex, and the study of these creatures is called spongiology. And no, there's no SpongeBob SquarePants involved. Number 7. Okapi. Could this be a giraffe? Perhaps a zebra? Nope. This creature right here is the combination of a giraffe and a zebra that accidentally got too cozy. Okay, we're kidding. The okapi is actually a close relative of the giraffe, but is not any sort of hybrid. This strange and weirdly attractive animal is about 4.9 feet tall at the shoulder and about 8 feet in length. Females are a bit taller. Its neck is long but not as long as its cousin, and it has a sleek dark brown or reddish brown coat and those zebra stripes on the legs and hindquarters. The okapi is endangered and is found naturally only in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Number 6. Blobfish. This creature right here could take the title of being one of the ugliest creatures in the world. Yes, this pinkish white fish looks like an old man whose grandson just went through his medicine cabinet. Also called the fat head, it is found in the deep waters off the coast of New Zealand and Australia. One blobfish was retrieved from a depth of 3,900 feet. To be fair, the blobfish doesn't really look like its most famous photograph. When it's pulled up from the depths of the ocean too quickly, it suffers such trauma that it collapses into a blob. Most blobfish have been captured are about a foot long and weigh about 4 pounds. It is probably an ambush predator or simply snaps up any food that comes close enough. Number 5. Megamouth shark. If you thought the great white was crazy, then this shark right here could be the stuff of nightmares. But despite its fearful and tube-sized mouth, this creature is a peaceful plankton feeder, much like basking in whale sharks. Discovered in only 1976, it is an elusive species that lives in the deep, warmer waters of all the world's oceans. Unlike other sharks, it is not a champion swimmer. It has a soft body and seems to exert minimum energy to keep itself moving. It has a white belly and it is brown, dark blue, or gray at the top. It also has weird, prominent lips. The mouth of the megamouth can be over 4 feet wide, and it has as many as 50 rows of little teeth in the upper jaw and 75 rows in the lower. The shark can grow as long as 18 feet and weigh over 2 tons. Most interestingly, scientists don't actually know how many megamouth sharks there are. Number 4. Platypus. You bet that everyone knows about the platypus, but that doesn't make this creature less strange. Indeed, the more people learn about this animal, the weirder it becomes. Of course, the platypus has a bill like a duck, webbed feet like an otter, eyes like a hagfish, and a tail like a beaver. Talk about seeing something that reminds you of a horror movie. It's a mammal that lays eggs, and the male has poison spines on his hind feet. So don't go lazily touching a platypus if you find them in the wild. Its fur glows under black light, and it finds prey through electrical signals picked up by receptors on its bill. Now, here's the crazy thing. Only the left ovary of the female platypus actually works. Number 3. Pangolin. Did you know that the pangolin was in the news early for being a potential vector for COVID-19? While this story wasn't really verified, one thing that's certain with the pangolin is that it comes with its own armor. Also known as the scaly anteater, the pangolin's skin is covered in scales made of keratin, which is the same stuff that makes up other animals' hair, fur, claws, and fingernails. It is the only mammal known to have these kind of scales, which has made it a focus of attention, both good and bad. Poaching and habit destruction has made most of the 6 pangolin species endangered, critically endangered, or vulnerable. This is true even though the animal protects itself by curling up in a ball and presenting its sharp-edged scales when it is threatened. Pangolins are solitary creatures, are nocturnal, and only eat termites and ants. And now we've come to the best pick of the day. What in the world is this creature? It looks like some kind of hybrid human werewolf baby or something. I certainly hope this isn't real, because if it is, it makes you wonder what some of these scientists are doing in their basements in the middle of the night. If something like this doesn't freak you out, then honestly, I don't know what else will. I wouldn't want to come across it. Number 2. Tsetse fly. Found in tropical Africa, the tsetse fly is responsible for spreading sleeping sickness. This isn't what makes it weird, as many insects are disease vectors. What makes this fly unusual is that the larva develops in the mother's uterus, and the mother feeds it with milk. The female tsetse fly only lets one of her eggs become fertilized at a time, and the baby undergoes its larval stages while it's in her uterus. While the larva is developing, the mother feeds it with a substance very much like milk, even though it's still in her uterus. The tsetse fly mother then births the larva when it achieves its 3rd larval stage. The larva then crawls onto the ground, becomes a pupa, and lives for about a month on the nourishment it has received from its mother. Number 1. Hairy frog. And last but not least, we have the hairy frog. The hair and fur are usually attributes of mammals and maybe some insects, but they're almost never seen on amphibians and reptiles. The hairy frog, also known as the wolverine or horror frog, is an exception. The males of these frogs, which grow about 4 to 5 inches long, develop what seems to be like hairs on their sides and their thighs during the breeding season. But they aren't really hairs, and they have arteries that help the frog absorb more oxygen. They operate very much like the gills the frog has when it's a tadpole. The male frog will need the oxygen because after the female lays the eggs in the water, he's the one who gets to guard them. Another unusual thing about this frog is that it has retractable claws, like Wolverine. The claws are made out of bone, and they can only be everted if the frog breaks the bones in its own toe and allows the claw to rip through its skin. Ouch. Being hunted by one of these creatures must really hurt. And with that being said, we've come to the end of this video. So, which one of these strange creatures spooked you out the most? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and click on that notification bell to get more enriching content. As always, thanks for watching.